Brought together by forces beyond their control, they experience forces beyond their belief. This is the Druid Child. Raised with privilege, kidnapped from his lands, and made to fight another's battle. Then he is discarded into a cruel, unforgiving land, where he rescues an abandoned child, only to realize she's there to rescue him. Lord Geoffrey, along with other slaves, are forcibly thrown overboard in the night from the Norse captor's overloaded ship into a ferocious storm into the wild, frigid waters of the North Sea. He does his best to stay afloat, but after struggling for so long, he loses consciousness and wakes upon the shore of a foreign island surrounded by the bodies of his fellow slaves. Lying there looking to the sky, cursing the gods for not taking his life, he hears the soft crying in the distance. He gets up and searches the remains until he comes across a young girl crying over the body of what he can only assume is her mother. He consoles the girl and befriends her, and together they strike out to begin their new adventure. They travel for days, and along the way he hunts for food, builds shelter, and keeps her safe. Soon they come to a very small fishing village on a neighboring island, only a few shacks and a couple simple boats. They meet a woman who tells them that they are in the Orkney Islands. They had landed at Brochhead and walked all the way to Quaberry. Now, while finding out most of the men were out to sea, a strange loud horn sounds, which sends the few villagers scattering as quickly as possible into their homes and boarding up the windows. Now standing alone in the village with baskets of fish and clothes lying about, dropped in the hurry to flee, Lord Geoffrey and Vera look at each other in confusion. The sounds of hooves pounding on the road can be heard coming up from behind them. As he turns in the distance, it looks just like any other rider coming along. But when the rider gets closer, he can see it is something totally different. A centaur-like creature with no skin and one single red eye is riding fast straight for him. The creature stretches out its arms, which are twice that of a man's, and bears down for the attack. Lord Geoffrey pushes Vera to the side near a wall of a nearby home, then turns around and pulls his dagger and prepares for the onslaught from the hell beast. The two collide, and Lord Geoffrey fights valiantly. However, with only a dagger, he is vastly overmatched. The beast knocks him to the ground with a mighty blow, and while Geoffrey lies there writhing in pain, the demon advances to strike the fatal blow. Geoffrey can do nothing but die a horrible death, so he lifts his chin and awaits the inevitable. Suddenly a bright flash strikes the beast and sends it reeling in pain and forcibly against the stone fence near the road. Geoffrey looks to where the blow must have come from and sees the young girl Vera standing upright, her hand glowing bright as the sun, with a frightful look upon her face. Just then the beast tries to stand to mount another attack, and a burst of light strikes again from the hands of Vera, turning the beast to ash. Geoffrey looks on horror at this small child and what she has done, and then realizes her frightened look showed that she was not completely in control of what just happened. He rushes to her side just as the light subsides and takes her into his arm and hugs her tight. He asks her how she could do such a thing. She replies, she don't know. He knew that he would need to learn more about this new companion. When the villagers had seen the dead beast at the hands of the little girl, they became frightened. They appreciated what she had done, but feared someone who could so easily kill such a powerful beast that had tormented them for so long. Lord Geoffrey and Vera were given a boat and provisions and sent on their way to continue their new adventure.